ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਅਮਰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਗ। ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦਾ ਵਿਨੀਪੈਗ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫੇਰ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਾਂ। ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਸਾਡਾ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਖਾਸ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਮੁੱਦਾ ਫੇਰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਵਿਨੀਪੈਗ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੇਅਰ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਇਰਦ ਗਿਰਦ ਕਈ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਾਣ ਪਛਾਣ ਕਰਾਈ ਹੈ, ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਈ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਇਸੇ ਲੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਤੋਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਕੈਵਿਨ ਕਲੇਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਮੇਅਰ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਉਹ ਵਿਨੀਪੈਗ ਬਾਰੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਪਲਾਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਝੋਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਣਦੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਨੀਪੈਗ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਚਾਹਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਲੈ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਦੇ ਵੱਲ। Hello friends, this is Amrit over here and we have Kevin over here. He's one of the mayor candidates. There are 11 candidates who are running for the mayor for City of Winnipeg elections. So let's talk to him and let's try to know like what is his vision about Winnipeg. But before discussing all these things, let's welcome him. So Kevin, welcome on Prime Asia TV.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So Kevin, first of all, we would like to know, like you have been working as the city council for the Charles Wood Tuxedo area also, and what motivates you to now run for the mayor elections?
Well, I've ran only in one term as a city councillor, and I wanted to do that to see what was happening inside City Hall, because I've always felt that we've had some issues at City Hall. I've reported on it ourselves with the companies that I've been president of and CEO. So I really wanted to get inside and determine what the issues were at a municipal level. And I thought it was dysfunctional, but I learned that it's much worse than I thought it was. There's a lot of division. There's no controls on spending. And we're not really talking about the major issues in the city of Winnipeg, which is crime and transit safety. We're ignoring those problems in hopes of getting political gain. And I wanted to make sure that our city, you know, was able to experience what the potential is we have. It's a great city. We have so many great community groups here. We have so many great cultural events here. We have to start looking at the positives, but in order to do that, we have to fix some of these problems, and that's why I decided to run.
So Kevin, with your answer, I could assume it looks like you were in the training for the first term and now you are actually ready for the inning, right? So you got the insight. Yeah, no, that's really good. Like, so you get the experience and now you are fully motivated to serve the Winnipeggers. Yeah. So coming on the agendas, so I would say like your competitors, I must say, who are running for the race. So they almost like declare or come up with some property tax plans, like they will be hiking the city taxes because revenues are needed. Whatever promises you guys are doing, it's not for free. We all know that, right? So what is your plan for the property taxes? I think it's like you're raising it around 2.3, but I just want to know what is your plan on that?
So I want to be really clear on this. First of all, the property taxes that you're hearing from other candidates are because they don't know how to budget properly. They don't know what the spending levels are within the city of Winnipeg or where money is being spent. They're just going to the voter saying, I'll raise your property taxes so you give me more money and I'll get this done for you. However, I have said we'll keep it at the 2.3% for this year because the budget's already been decided. You could change it, but how can you change a $1.5 billion budget without actually spending time internally to understand what those costs are? So for the first year, the 2.3% will continue, but 2% will go to road renewals. And then the 0.3 will go, of course, towards the bus rapid transit as planned and as we have done for the past 7 years. And then that will give me time and other councillors time to drill down in the budget, understand where every dollar is being spent. This is not a time for tax increases. And people have to understand something. Tax increases are for promises. That's buying promises because we increase the value of a home, the assessed value on a home, to bring up the money that we need to operate the city. So the value of your home is going to go up, and then they want to tax property tax increases on top of that. In Gillingham, it's over 7% because he wants to put on a frontage fee levy. It's too much money. We have to determine whether or not the city has a revenue problem or a spending problem. And the evidence that I've seen in the last 4 years, and I'm the only candidate that's ever done a corporate budget that understands how to do a budget, the rest of them are not coming from that world, I believe we have a very, very bad spending problem.
Thank you so much for your response on that. So next I come to for policing, and there is a lot of crime also going on in the city. So what are your views on that, and what your plan would be if you get a chance to be a mayor?
Well, I was the chair of the police board for some time. I understand the issues of law enforcement. And if you look back again at the poor budgeting that's been done, we've taken a lot of money away from police, but we've added money back on in rent and other corporate charges, if you will. As mayor, I will make sure every nickel that we have for public safety goes to public safety. And it's unfortunate that a lot of candidates are talking about how to address this call and that call, none of which they have the authority to talk about, none of which they have the authority to change. What we have to make sure is that when a resident calls 911, they don't have to wait 4 days before a police officer shows up. The police want that. So instead of giving the city police $10 million for rent and taking it back from them to pay the rent back to the city for this shell game, every nickel that is assigned to public safety needs to be spent on public safety. And I want to make one thing really clear. A lot of candidates are saying, oh, our budget's one of the highest in the country. Our budget for police services is about 27%. Thompson is 27%. Most cities around the 25 to 27% mark. Ours is actually lower when you do the real math and take away all of the shell game that's been going on in the budget. Because we're adding rent, we're adding the cost of cars, we're adding all kinds of service charges that other police services don't get. So in fact, I would venture to say that our police budget is probably less than 25.
All right, and I have also have been reading that you said to free some of the police resources by having sheriffs in the hospitals. So what is that plan about?
So right now we have, in 1998, we had 27 police cars that patrolled the city of Winnipeg. One was added in the last 20 years. And so today we only have 28 police cars that patrol the city of Winnipeg. And the city of Winnipeg has grown geographically, and we've increased the population by 200,000 since that time. So it's inadequate services that we're providing to the residents of Winnipeg. But what we have to address is the fact that when a police officer takes somebody into custody, detains that person, if they need to go to the hospital or identify they're not feeling well, they have to go to the emergency room. And we're finding that police officers are waiting there 5, 6, 7, even 8 hours. And sometimes we'll have 10 patrol units at different emergency wards throughout the city, which means we only have 18 police cars to respond to some calls. And we know that many of the calls we're getting are gun calls or weapon calls, and we need to have the right resources to attend to that. So what we do is we either put a sheriff in the hospital and pay for that, or we put a cadet in the hospital, both of which have the authority to detain somebody, and it allows the high-paid police officers that are trained back out on the street to deal with crime.
That's a very good point that you raise. So I just want to know, you also have touched that thing, you will, cancel or get rid of the executive policy committee. So we just want to know what is that, because for our viewers, we want to know what is that committee. So in a nutshell, I could say that's kind of a mayor's cabinet. So what's your plan on that?
Well, some will explain it as a mayor's cabinet, but it's actually buying a majority vote. So half of the councillors are not involved in the budget working group. Scott Gillingham voted no to allowing every councillor to have equal access and equal participation in the budget working group. That's voting no to democracy. Every councillor is equally elected. Every councillor deserves the same respect. Every councillor deserves the same opportunity to be heard, to ask questions, to be present at these very important meetings. But what happens right now is we're the only city in Canada that has an executive policy committee.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. I know you are very busy. You have other meetings to attend. So thank you for giving your precious time. And we wish you best of luck for your race. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, guys.